In the summer of 216 BC, the Roman Republic faced its greatest nightmare. A Carthaginian general named Hannibal Barca had crossed the Alps with elephants, mercenaries, and an unbreakable will. For 2 years, he had humiliated Rome, first at Trebia, then at Lake Trasimene. Rome was furious. The Senate wanted revenge, not caution. They raised the largest army in Roman history, nearly 80,000 men, and sent it south to crush Hannibal once and for all. The place was a flat plain near a small town called Cannae in southern Italy. But that day, the hunter became the hunted. By nightfall, nearly 50,000 Romans would lie dead, and Hannibal's name would become legend. The Roman army was led by 2 consuls, Lucius Aemilius Paulus, the cautious one, and Gaius Terentius Varro, bold and impatient. They decided to alternate command daily, a fatal mistake in itself. Hannibal's army was smaller, about 50,000 men, but far more flexible. He commanded a mix of Africans, Spaniards, Gauls, and Numidians, men hardened by years of war. His cavalry was superior, his tactics unmatched. Varro planned to crush Hannibal with brute strength, a massive dense block of Roman infantry in the center. He believed sheer power would win. But Hannibal understood something Rome didn't: space, movement, and timing. The battlefield was a dusty plain beside the river Aufidus. Hannibal deliberately positioned his army with the wind and dust blowing into the Romans' faces, small details that mattered. In the center, he placed his Iberian and Gallic infantry in a curved formation that bulged outward toward the Romans. On each side, he placed his elite African infantry waiting in reserve, and on the wings, his deadly cavalry, heavy horse on the left, swift Numidian riders on the right. When the battle began, the Roman legions advanced straight ahead, slamming into Hannibal's center. The Carthaginian line bent backward, step by step. To the Romans, it looked like victory. In reality, they were walking straight into a trap. As the center pulled back, the 2 African wings began to turn inward, like a door closing. At the same time, Hannibal's cavalry had already crushed the Roman horsemen and now charged from behind. The Romans were surrounded, front, sides, and rear. There was no escape. What happened next was not a battle. It was a slaughter. The Roman soldiers were packed so tightly they couldn't raise their swords. They were trapped shoulder to shoulder, crushed by their own ranks. Hannibal's men methodically cut them down. The dust and heat were suffocating. Screams and metal echoed across the plain. Ancient writers described men dying without wounds, suffocated by the press of bodies. By the end of the day, the Roman army had ceased to exist. Both consuls fought bravely, but only one, Varro, managed to escape with a handful of men. The other, Paulus, died fighting in the chaos. Around 50,000 Romans were killed in a single day, a number so high that historians still debate if it could even be true. But what's certain is this: Rome had never suffered such a defeat before, and would never forget it. After Cannae, much of southern Italy rose up against Rome. Allies defected to Hannibal. The Republic seemed broken. Even Carthage celebrated, believing the war was as good as won. But Hannibal made one crucial decision. He did not march on Rome. His cavalry commander, Hannibal, urged him to strike immediately, saying, "You know how to win a victory, Hannibal, but not how to use it." Whether true or not, the moment passed. Rome recovered. The Senate refused to surrender, refused even to ransom the prisoners. They raised new armies, trained new legions, and slowly learned from Hannibal himself. In time, Rome would adapt, endure, and eventually destroy Carthage. But the name Cannae would live forever, as a symbol of perfect tactics and catastrophic loss. And while the story of Cannae is already extraordinary, history left behind a few fascinating details that make this battle even more incredible. After the battle, Hannibal collected so many gold rings from fallen Roman officers that he measured them by the bushel. The term Cannae has become a synonym for total annihilation. Military schools around the world still study the battle. Modern generals, from Frederick the Great to Napoleon to the German Schlieffen, have all tried to recreate Cannae. The Romans eventually learned Hannibal's lesson and used similar tactics at Zama years later to defeat him. Even today, historians see Cannae as the ultimate example of how intelligence and timing can defeat brute strength. Thank you for watching and for staying with me until the end of this story. If you enjoyed learning about Hannibal's masterpiece at Cannae, a battle that changed history forever, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next episode. There are so many other incredible moments in history waiting to be explored, from the rise of empires to forgotten wars and legendary commanders. So if you want to keep traveling through time with me, check out the other videos on this channel and discover the stories that shaped our world. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.